What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the absolute best show in all of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. It's the Royal Rundown, folks. Episode 32. Episode 32 of the show. I am one half your host and duo, Serge Vicente. Joining me as always is my sister from another, Miss Drade. Miss Drade, what it do?
What it is, what it be like.
Oh, everybody who is watching live right now on the Scrap News YouTube page, you can check us out each and every week right here, breaking down all of your fight action on the fastest growing YouTube page in all of combat sports. So make sure you go out there and check out the Scrap News today for some really, really dope combat sports journalism, really dope page. Like I said, it's the fastest growing in all of combat sports. But we do have a lot to get to today. It is the absolute best show in all of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. Before we really get to going, and I do give you guys the menu, we'll talk about NXT. We'll talk about all the new faces in old places, that has been happening recently. We will get to that. But first and foremost, we want to go ahead and send our thoughts and prayers, as always, out to Hangman Adam Page. If you guys are currently watching Dynamite right now, fortunately, right at the end there, he had a match with Mox for the title. He took a bad bump and he had to get stretchered out. You can tell it's a real thing. So I hope all goes well with that. Dre, I know you watched that one live. I missed it live, but like I said, it always sucks to see that. And like I said, it's a little somber way to start. I hate to start that way, but again, we have to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think it's a lovely reminder about these athletes, what they put their bodies through, for our entertainment. And literally, what happened with Hangman was something we see all the time, a lariat that, that the wrestlers take these things all the time, but it's a game of centimeters, not even inches. It's a game of centimeters sometimes. And unfortunately, he went down the way he went down, but we're prayers up to him. You know what I mean? We are talent first here at the Royal Rundown. So we want him to be healthy and amazing. To the positive news, I would say, is that another thing, it is always when you come from the world of like show business, like I do, performing arts and all that. Unfortunately, I guess it's a kind of catch-22 sometimes, but we're always taught that the show must go on some kind of way. And I did actually watch, I was watching that match live as that was happening. And props to William Regal, Jon Moxley, MJF, everyone on commentary for filling, those last 5-6 minutes or whatever with something really, really entertaining, and still being able to entertain that crowd while something, very concerning was occurring in the ring.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, you've got all the medical people, taking care of, Hangman, and they're stretching him out, but there's still, 4, 5, 6 minutes or whatever to fill of a show. And they were able to build a pay-per-view match in that same in those
a handful of minutes. They just threw it together.
Yes. And, even Moxley was able to like give a shout out to Hangman on the mic as he was doing this, we're giving him respects, and, we're wishing him health and all that stuff. And like, it's just, it's just another reminder that these people are human beings. This is
absolutely,
although the things that we're seeing are scripted and, or, however you want to think about it, worked, if you will, real things be happening. And you have to and you have to be able to adjust. And it's just, it's unfortunate, but I would say that they handled that the best they absolutely could possibly handle that. So props to all of them to do that.
Yeah, it seems like it was handled well. Like I said, hopefully he is doing all right. It is something that, big hits are taken. Unfortunately, things like this do happen. Interesting to note, one of the first people to go out there and actually say something, put out his thoughts and his well wishes was Big E, who we all know is recovering from his neck, broken neck incident as well. So hopefully everything's going well with all of them. Everybody heal up. Obviously, like you said, we are absolutely performer athlete first here on the Royal Rundown. All right, let's go ahead and transition a little bit. Unfortunately, that definitely was not the way you want to do it, but there is a lot of amazing things going on right now. Look, how can I say this? Trips don't miss, okay? Trips hasn't missed to this point in time. Everything is just home run after home run after home run. It's like all the storylines are making sense. The little breadcrumbs that are being dropped, you love what's happening with Bray Wyatt. There, the intersection even with NXT, which we'll talk about a little later on in the show. Some of the even the comebacks over this last NXT Raw or whatever the hell you want to call it. For you, what has been some of the biggest moments? And again, like I said, we will talk about AEW. Obviously, we let off the show with it, but unfortunately, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We're gonna
This is
talk
Serge.
about what's popping. Okay. We're gonna talk about what's popping. When AEW is popping and they have some dope shit, I am the first one. When Will Ospreay was out here jumping all over the place and putting on 12-star matches, I was the main one out here championing him. I want his fit. Okay.
Oh,
The UK
Lord
Seth
Jesus.
Rollins, when he goes out here and puts on a show, he puts on a show. Okay.
Called him
I am a
the
fan
UK
of
Seth
this dude.
Rollins.
All right.
Okay.
When New Japan goes out, and by the way, if anybody is doing the Forbidden Door these days, it's only New Japan. Okay. AEW, they're like AEW, hold my beer. Watch this. They are out here signing dudes to Impact. We see, not I almost said Ocean's 13. You have, the Bullet Club
Ocean's
over here, the
13.
OC,
The OC.
the
The Ocean's
OC.
added to list. Added to the list, Serge. You got the Ocean's 13.
You got the Ocean's 13 out here and AJ Styles coming out here, coming back with Ferg. I mean, there is some really, really dope stuff happening right now. I mean, come on, my boy Dom. Need I say more? He's going out here and winning in the heeliest way possible. He's hated, and I love it.
I hate to be this person. I'm gonna be this person though. Obviously, no disrespect to WWE because I love it too. However, Serge, you can't
I'm
say
here for the tomfoolery. I'm
you
here.
can't say none of that because you haven't watched Dynamite tonight, which was very good.
You know what? You are right. And the reason I have a fantastic reason for not watching Dynamite. I was watching Harry Potter's Deathly Hallows Part 2 in this fantastic movie, and I figured I'd watch Dynamite tomorrow. I could watch it on the app when I wake up in the morning. It's totally fine. I was enjoying Harry Potter.
And we will not. And this is a judgment-free zone. Get your Harry Potter
I
sir.
enjoyed it.
You know what I mean? No, but
I was with my lady. We had a great time.
I love that. That's beautiful. Fantastic. Quality time. Shout out to the first lady of the Fight Podcast, of course. Listen,
I am not trolling.
No, he's
good. That's my boy Dom.
That is his boy Dom. That is his homie. And if you go back a couple of 10 episodes or so he was talking about that boy. Okay, as soon as Dom,
we'll get to Dom in a little bit. I'll tell you why I get down with
just
my
talk about that boy, and he done and Dom done did done had Serge do a whole 180. Serge is now Dom's biggest fan.
I pull for that dude. I do. I cheer for him. I want him to do well. I want him to succeed.
It's comedy. You hear me? Can we talk about this though? You started talking about this, but let's bring it in.
I do not troll. I am not a troll. If I said Dom was good, I meant it.
No, he's very serious. This is not a joke. Can we just talk about this since we're talking about In Trips We Trust and we went into WWE real quick? Mm-hmm. Can we talk about that amazing segment with Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar last night?
First of all, one dime for Bobby. Every time he walks in, the absolute best music in all of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. He comes out here. He got the dope. I mean, come on, rocking the black and old gold. I always appreciate.
Because hey, hold on. One time
out here doing this thing.
One time for ISU's homecoming, we was there this weekend. It was lit.
my brethren
out there, folks was out there.
The fantastic Ada Tall chapter. We appreciate y'all. Much love. Miss y'all. Ain't seen y'all in forever because I don't live in Illinois anymore. I'm sorry. That's a trip.
Listen, but that was I know some people were probably a little lackluster about this match for Crown Jewel, right? Not us, because we're definitely team Bobby Lashley and we love him good. We love Farmer Brock. Farmer Brock is fun. So
Farmer Brock is a good time.
It's fun. And this match is a long time coming, right? We wanted these two to have a big stage to do what they do. Crown Jewel is a big stage for them to do what they do. But talk about adding some spice to the feud yesterday. Hello, somebody.
A little
In the
Szechuan to it, boy. They went out there
in the
and
words, in the words
yeah,
of my wrestling baby daddy. He don't know this yet. Big E.
go ahead and say it.
Big meaty men slapping meat. It's about to be crazy. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be lots of fun. Lots of fun. I had to say it. I was really like looking forward to saying it.
Oh, look, it was fantastic, and he's the best part. Like Bobby came out not only with Steve Harvey suits.
First of all, why you don't be talking about
Look, man, the only
Bobby's
reason he
suits
wear them
now?
suits is because he is a lot of man under there. You know how difficult it is to
That
get
is
in some tailored pants
a
being that big. Come on,
large
man.
person.
Uh,
Like, come on,
Yo,
man.
but look, I will say this though. I mean, all in all, I mean that segment and it was really dope to see because before in the other era when
Mm.
Voldemort was in charge, okay,
Not the other
when
era.
he you
The
know when the
other era.
other era,
When
right?
that other dude was the
When
boss.
the other guy was in charge, the dude who wasn't the goat was in charge. So
Foolishness.
I mean, it's true. It is true. But when he was in charge, I don't think this would have been as well done as
No,
it was before. I mean,
not at
we've seen them interact, and Brock just kind of Hulk smashes and keeps it moving. When Bobby Lashley is just as impressive of an athlete as he is, so to be able to go out there and see, I mean, won championships, and obviously in other organizations that are nowhere near as quality. Granted, at the top of the organization, we can discuss they do have a handful, but that's for another show. You should go ahead and follow the Fight Podcast. Go out there and do that. But it's one of those moments that seeing Brock get thrown around a little bit was a little interesting. Like you usually see Brock come and go out there and go Hulk smash and leave and put his cowboy hat on and laugh and do whatever. And kind of at this time, he went in there to do what he usually does and got worked. He got his ass kicked.
There
And it
is an
was
alternative.
refreshing.
There is an alternative universe where when Bobby Lashley came in originally,
Uh-huh.
and if Brock Lesnar hadn't, dipped so quickly, there is an
Mhm.
alternative universe where they became maybe ruthless aggressions, Stone Cold and Rock when it comes to the type of rivalry they could have had.
Yep.
You know
Oh,
what I mean?
absolutely.
They are in
Yeah.
if you really just look at them, they're the same dude. You know what I mean? And they could
Absolutely.
easily be they could have easily been marketed as a similar dudes. Think about
I
it. If they had
second this motion. I
Lashley would
totally
be,
agree with this statement.
oh, yeah. I mean, I don't even know nothing about MMA like that, but yeah.
Realistically, I think it'd probably be a competitive fight. I actually wouldn't have minded to see it 10 years ago.
Right. So my point is, you know what I mean? Like I love that, and Triple H just seems to be doing this with a few things. It's like it's like he's booking things that should have been booked a while ago. But
Absolutely.
it's like, you know what?
It's like
Let's do it.
long term booking fan service. It's
And it's
like
like,
we
yes, it is,
know
yes,
we
yes.
missed this a while ago. Now we're going to give it to you guys, but it's not like, for instance, in boxing with like Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. That fight happened 6 years past the point. If we're looking
Right.
at boxing again with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, yo guys, we're about 6 months away from that expiration date. I'm just letting y'all know. It's one of those things,
6
right?
months. Y'all got half a year.
That's
Fix
what
it.
y'all y'all got
Figure it
6
out.
months, and then it's one of those things as well. So it's a very similar feel to that as well. But the thing about it is these guys are still. I mean, I can argue that Bobby Lashley's never been more popular. When his music drops and he starts dancing, everybody starts when that shit gets to going. The entire crowd goes nuts when he walks in, and they have he's better on the mic, I feel like, than he used to be. But no matter what he says, the crowd explodes. So you have him better than he's ever been. And Brock, come on, man, that Mount Rushmore. Like, I'm not gonna throw no shade on Brock. Brock is incredible, especially if you go back and see young Brock. He was really nuts.
Well, what I
So
love too is like if you think about it, Brock is better when he wrestles people he enjoys working with, and for him
make
to
sure you
be
follow
thrown
the Fight
around.
Podcast. We break all that down, brother. I'm telling you, we want, like I said. Oh, you got the hoodie. Hey,
Hey,
go
we're
ahead
the
and
male.
represent.
I'm season appropriate now because
There we
not all of us
go.
not all of us live in California anymore. Look,
Yeah, yo,
I,
hey,
I left.
hey.
I left, and I'm yeah. No, but I just it so for Brock to be for Bobby to throw Brock around like he did last night in
It was
that
fantastic.
lovely segment that told us everything. That told me everything I needed to know. I'm like, oh, Brock likes you, so we about to have us a good
Yeah.
time.
In that, and that's what it showed me also, right? It showed me that Brock legit has respect for this dude. If
Yeah.
he's Brock ain't just gonna let anybody throw him around.
No.
But there's honor amongst warriors. I feel like I've said that before in certain things, especially guys at that level, at that caliber. You know what I mean?
Right.
So to be able to go out there and see, Brock get thrown around, it was refreshing. It was good to see, and it was good to see my boy Bob, and it was good to see Sheldon Benjamin back there in the in the mix as well. Now let me ask you this, because I sent you this in the infamous group chat.
Not the infamous.
We talked about this a little bit because there was a quote, Bobby Lashley saying he would love to. He was talking to Vince about it, and essentially what he would wanted to do was you lose a couple matches in a row. He starts getting sad and down on himself and depressed. And Bobby allows himself to go. He has 37 abs. Maybe he goes down to 15 or something.
Okay.
He said he wants to let himself go a little bit, let it like stubble and everything grow. I have this whole character, but then come back on the other side as it's like super champion. Think sad and happy Corbin, but just Bobby Lashley. Are we here for this? Would you want this to happen? And do you see maybe with Trips? And remember, they just hired a longtime storybooker, big Hollywood longtime storybooker. Is this something that you feel like we might be able to see? Or are we just talking shit?
This ain't the first time that WWE's hired Hollywood people to write stuff. So let's just be clear. But true. I think the only thing that, not the only thing, one of the first things that I've said was like, oh, well, we saw that already with, Happy Corbin, and did Vince just take Bobby's idea and give it to Baron Corbin? Because that's
I think that is what happened. Because that's not for you, Bobby. Baron, come here.
And as much as I love Bobby Lashley, like to be clear, as I was about to say that, I was going to say I don't know if he could pull off that acting or whatever, but at the same time, as I'm saying, I'm like, well, we haven't even been able to see him do that, so therefore we never know. So I would be here to see Bobby doing something other than big muscle man, I'm strong. That like I think that would be cool. I think they tried it a little bit when he returned the first time, with the Leo Rush and some of the comedy stuff with Sami Zayn. And, I think they tried it. Again, you got to remember that was a different regime, if you will, creatively.
Regime is a very good way to put it. Yes, very delicate way to put it, if anything.
Thank you. I'm very good. I'm good. Me and the words, we do this. So hey, this is professional wrestling.
Yes, it is.
This is sports entertainment, if you will. Try it all. Why the hell not? Try it all. This is the same company that put a big old gobbledygooker turkey thing in an egg and hatched it out the same day Undertaker.
Hey, but you know what though? Again, different regime. I am not putting this on Trips, okay? In Trips, we trust that he has not steered me wrong. Everything he does.
But my point is, like, he's been anything possible.
even singles and doubles he's hitting. I'm loving that. But okay,
that's true.
Let me ask you this. Transitioning a little bit, because again, that Bobby's been fantastic. We did have a title change because he did have to take an L. That was the introduction of Brock Lesnar, but obviously Seth Rollins gets the belt, and then he goes out here and he looks like he's about to have a program with Mustafa Ali.
Bolingbrook,
And
Illinois' very
come
own.
on, man, let them
West Burbs in the
know.
house.
Let them know.
630 area code. No, I'm just wait. Let me quit.
Well, look, the Chi-Town to Jake's brother,
Yes.
it
Come
is,
on, suburbs. We out here.
finally
What's
doing his
up?
thing. That he's going out there rocking the Jordans, braids just looking phenomenal,
Crispy, okay?
crispy,
Just
phenomenal.
what?
Made me want to go ahead and get my shit whipped up. I
Listen,
was like, you know what, that sir might be the vibe.
look,
I see what you're cooking.
I see
You
him
know what
too,
I'm saying?
respectfully, because that is a married
Respect.
man.
Oh,
Respectfully.
yeah. I understand. Again, we'll have some of those respectfullys again later on in the show on my end. We'll discuss.
I know. I
Oh my
know.
goodness, my goodness. The infamous group chat is something else.
Hot mess. A
Now,
hot mess, y'all.
let me ask you this, because I think this is an interesting question. I can't remember where I heard it, but it just made me think about it. And we're
Hmm.
talking about again how amazing what we've been seeing, because we're seeing some really good things, and it's at the point right now that you really don't want to turn the TV off. It's like there's always you're waiting for the next thing to happen. I mean, even to the point that they brought Elias back, and which obviously is what he really wants to do, because that's what I'm realizing now with the Trips in charge. And I even heard, and who we'll talk about in a moment, Ferg. We've heard Finn Balor go out there and say it feels more like it's a partnership than it
Right,
was.
right.
He says, I feel like I have like a more of a say so, and I have ideas, I bring it to the table, and it works. And so before I even get into Ferg, and I feel like I keep on putting the table and everything else, but before I even get to that, the bloodline, Sami
Yes.
Zayn, everything, are they giving you NWO vibes? Like,
No. No, and I'm gonna
well,
say why.
okay,
No.
go ahead. Okay, because I'll give you the argument for, I guess, in the other way, just
Yeah.
from what they heard. And so please, yes.
Yeah, and I'm saying no somewhat defiantly. I know what people mean when they say the new NW, bloodlines giving you the new NWO. Like I get it. I understand what people are saying. But I'm saying no. And I'm saying no because they are they are just their own thing. And
Mhm.
they it's different, especially that family element of it to me makes it just almost more, it makes it heavier, it gives it more stakes. It's going to make it way more emotional when stuff starts breaking apart as well, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
whenever that happens, because at this point it's kind of like, yo, we don't want it to happen right now,
for
because they're
sure.
going to turn on Sammy before they turn on each other, which is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, it's going to be the saddest, happiest day of my life.
right. So like to me, it's just I think they are far more patient with this than the
Hmm.
NWO ever,
Hmm.
ever was.
So,
Eric
okay.
Bischoff and them ever were
I
with this.
hear, so I hear what you're saying. I
I
guess
also
I'm
think
talking
they're
about.
cooler.
Okay. I guess I was thinking about in terms of impact and I guess the feel that you get, because I guess that's what I was thinking about it. Because to me, they have that cool factor, right? There's something so dope, especially when you see them all together with the belts, and then you're hearing stories about guys who are currently in the locker room, Braun Breaker and others. Are saying that again? These are guys that are hopefully going to be in that title picture eventually. Talking about, I hope he never loses it. I love it too
Right.
much.
So, but here's the
So,
tea with that.
okay,
Let me add,
please,
let me add to
yes,
it.
let's
And
add, yeah.
actually observing stuff, I think they're bigger, NWO vibes. No, because they are different. Yes, as in they are a powerhouse. So
I guess I was thinking of it in terms of a powerhouse myself,
but
but yeah,
I want to add to that though.
please.
Since NWO, we've had, and I'm gonna go all kinds of out of order, but
Yeah,
we've
of
had
course.
Evolution, we've
Yeah.
had DX Evolution, we've had the Shield, we've had, there have been other factions that were powerhouses and the most popular thing at that moment.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would make though we've had the Bullet Club, we've had the Elite, all of these things, all of these people and things and have been around after NWO that
Mm-hmm.
lasted longer than the NWO, that were more successful. uh in certain aspects, obviously, right? Granted, they all took from NWO for sure, right? They're
Of
all
course, yeah.
very much inspired by, but I think you can't, I think the bloodline is taking the best parts of all of those factions I just mentioned. I didn't even
Okay,
mention
okay.
the New Day and even the Bar. I mean, it was only it was only a
Yeah.
couple seconds, and that's only a tag team, but still. Um,
Right.
you know,
But
I'd
but
say
it,
that
there is definitely a difference from like a New Day who especially they wreaked havoc and they've done their thing. I don't know. It just feels. But you know what? I'll take a step back on that because I know when they were really popping, I wasn't totally back yet.
let me
So
make a case for the let me make a case for my booze the New Day real quick.
of
So
course, please. And
because
and I
people
love the New
forget,
Day, and we know that.
because people forget that the New Day, or the Bloodline, or excuse me, the Usos right now are haven't
One of the
they're very close to it right now, but they're chasing the New Day's tag team record, tag
which
team
is
championship
crazy,
record.
which is so crazy.
And of course, shout out to the Usos, because guess who was the New Day's biggest rival during that time? The Usos. So like facts on again. But my thing is, people try
That's why I
to,
really want to see them back in the title picture, and it's in some
yeah,
capacity,
I
right?
do
Like
too.
it's time,
I
right?
do too. And especially if they're gonna bleed the New Day's record, which I think they are and they should. You know,
Wait, they're gonna do what?
they're gonna beat the New Day's tag team holding the championships for
Yeah,
day
yeah.
record or whatever.
You know what they
I
might
think
be waiting for? They might be waiting for Big E to come back. I now that like the moment it came out of my mouth, I was
you
like,
see the blood.
that's what they're
That's
waiting for.
that's blushing. You see it? Okay.
Yeah, that's what they're waiting
Mala,
for, though, right? It has to be.
I'm gonna cry when that man comes back. Just y'all, just warnings. No.
Yo, and
um,
honestly, that's another person that they're gonna put a rocket ship on. They really
that's
are.
and that's again, that's just hoping that he does return. You know what I mean? But my thing is, you people forget is that the other thing that the New Day's done or did that I'm not sure. And again, I was a little young, so maybe I was might have missed it, but they were successful as heels and faces. Like they did both.
Makes a difference. That's true.
and like my other, and they were like, they have the whole merchandising thing, and like those, they had t-shirts, unicorn thingies, bootio cereal, all the shirts you could think of,
That's very true. They
woods
had,
with up
yeah.
up down, and like it was.
He's still doing that and killing that.
So my thing is, it was a movement. It was very, it's almost like they took, like I said, all the aspects of all the other successful factions before them
Yeah,
and then elevated it.
for
So
sure.
I always like, people, and the Shield is another one that I think people kind of sometimes forget how successful they were together
I think
until
people
you.
are respecting that
I
because
think they're
who's at
getting
the top?
reminded right now. They're
Yeah,
very
who's at the
reminded
top?
right now. Like
You
every one
got
of them holds a
Seth
title in two
wiggling
different
belts.
companies. It's amazing. So like
Yeah.
I just feel like we gotta put some respect on the New Day's name, put some respect on the Shield's name. Bloodline is they're there. Please get my point here is not to discredit that the Bloodline is the hottest thing in pro wrestling at the moment. Absolutely. Yeah, duh. That's a duh. Of course, they're making history. They're going to go down as one of the
Oh,
best situations in wrestling
yeah,
history.
yeah,
Especially if we
yeah.
get what I think we're gonna get at Mania with Roman and Rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
you
like,
know what? I'll be honest with you. If that does happen, and again, rumors are rumors. Last week on the show, you said the video where The Rock, said I'm the tribal chief, and I just kind of poo pooed it and whatever. I went and watched it. I said,
you saw
oh,
the eyeballs. You saw the eyeballs,
oh,
didn't you?
yeah, hey, because I saw one and it seemed like he was chill, and then it seems like now he's like, oh, you know what? I think I can do this. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. If that happens, it will put Roman in a different stratosphere. It
Absolutely.
will. It will. It'll put all of them. It will put the entire that would goat the bloodline. That will make the bloodline get goated.
Yeah, and just real quick, Mr. Observing Stuff, how can Rock beat Roman for a title? Rock is going to be champion again. I can't see it. No, no. First of all, we
No,
don't want the titles involved in this.
no, 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 no,
We
no,
want
no.
Roman
I
to lose
think
one or both of them titles before he even touches Rock.
a one
Second of
thousand
all,
percent. Yes.
because that doesn't need that match at Mania does not need
We don't
title.
need no. It doesn't need
The
a title.
title
It will
is
be the
Tribal
biggest
Chief,
thing. Yes.
head of the
Yes.
table.
Like
That's the
like
title
dead
he's
ass.
fighting for.
What were the biggest moments of last year's WrestleMania? It's Stone Cold and Kevin Owens, okay? And then it wasn't my cup of tea, but it was
Seth and
Sami
Cody.
Zayn. Well, of course, Cody, but Sami Zayn, and I'm talking about the big pop
Yeah,
culture appeal. Those are two
yeah,
big pop culture things. The Rock would be pop culture, but oh yeah, come on, that Cody moment, come on, that was huge.
yeah. And then yes, Roman has to win. Roman wins. Sends and then they've inducted The Rock into the Hall of Fame the night before, whatever, and it's gonna be great. Like that's all I'm saying.
Is he? I think that'd be great. Why is he not in the Hall of Fame?
Because he hasn't retired yet.
Oh.
That's my
See,
personal opinion. I don't know if
you
that's the
gotta,
real, but that's my did he
yeah,
didn't
man, he
officially
gotta pull the
retire yet.
plug on that, man. He gotta.
Well, I think he will. I think
I
this
think
is the
you.
year to do it. I think 2023.
And you know what? Roman would put on a great match. I mean, when people forget, I think from time to time how good he is as a wrestler. Like when
Yeah.
he really gets to cooking, like that dude, he's truly the best in the game right now. All right. Speaking of somebody whom I have a soft spot for, I have an affinity for.
Mm.
I think he is one of the most influential guys currently wrestling today. We're
No,
talking
I
about
already know.
Fergalicious, okay? Mr. Bullet Club, Prince Devitt,
Chris
okay,
Devitt, if you will.
if you will. Um, really quick, do you like what they're doing with Rey Mysterio?
You know what? I think it's a great way to separate Ray and Dom so that
For a
they can
little
come
bit,
back to that
yeah,
later.
yeah,
Fine.
yeah. And
Fine.
you know what? You can put absolutely. I don't care what anybody says. You put Ray and Dom in a program where Dom just kicks his ass left and 619s him left and right and then taunts him. I am absolutely here for it. Okay, I am so here for heel Dom just being a dick and pulling off like. Again, he has no business beating AJ Styles. We know
Zero
this.
business. Zero.
Zero
None.
business beating AJ
Not
Styles.
a
And I like how they're playing it like he has zero business doing. He is getting worked out there. But honestly, it's good for him. It's kind of like they're putting him in there with all veterans. Think
yeah.
about the people that they put Dom in there with. They put
Yeah.
him in there with Edge. They put him in there with Finn. They put him in there with,
Talk
AJ
about
Styles.
baptism by fire, poor
By
baby. Jesus.
fire. And for me, I look at it, it's not just because it's Dom's kid. Yo, this kid has something. He does. And I think he's realizing it in the moment. You talk about heat. He's still nuclear when he goes out there. He's still fucking nuclear. Okay. He goes out there and he just basks in it. And he sits
Yeah.
there and he looks around. You can tell he enjoys it.
That
Oh man.
his
Come
performing, like
on.
his faces and his performances and his promos
Come on.
have grown exponentially
Heel
in the
turn.
last 6
What
weeks.
have I not been?
I was like, Serge been a heel this whole time. What you been watching? What is this, episode 32? This is 32 episodes. Serge been a heel for sure. I'm the face up in here, and when I turn heel, everybody's like, "Hold on, Joy said something mean." Right? So you know it's crazy. No, but his performances have like improved tremendously in the last like 4 to 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I will say that like he's still, slappy in the ring, and but he's
he worked
also
them 3 amigos. That was like 2.5 amigos. All right, like
two,
we need to
two,
work
two,
on that. That
two
was
amigos tops for
two
you,
solid amigos. All right. Like, I
Those
need you to work
amigos,
on that
and
third
that is
amigo.
it.
That third amigo did not show up that day. I need him to get. I told it's because if you look, he got a little extra. All right, you know me. I'm not body shaming. I'm just saying if you're gonna be this guy, you have to fit the part. Look, everybody in your clique works out right now. Everybody. Ferg
He
got
can use a
37
little.
ass.
He can
Damien
use.
got shoulders out
He
here.
really do got
Rhea is
37
real.
abs.
Come
Rhea
on.
is built. You hear me? Rhea's so strong looking. She looks taller than she actually is. Because I could have sworn that girl was like 6 feet tall.
Jacked. Yeah, she's
And
all
she's
of
not.
5'6".
She's like, I'm like, I'm 5'3". I could have sworn he was 6 feet. Like, what? Look, and I think, that'll come obviously, but it's just, yeah, I'm enjoying everything about the Judgment Day right now. I mean, what a
We
turnaround.
don't take no hate on the Royal Rundown. We will not
Oh.
accept any hate on this show. Okay, there's
Nah.
zero hate for anybody, and Dom is fantastic. I don't care what you guys say. I'll stand on it.
Oh,
I'll
this
stand on it with my
blasphemy?
tippy toes.
Do you see this blasphemy about Rhea? Who are you
You know what?
watching?
You know what? See, you know what? This is when I just can't rationalize irrational people. It's not me.
Like, what are you talking
It's
about?
definitely not me. Look, Dom. Look, I'm gonna tell you, and I'll stand for the world. Look, right now, Bullet Club Purple is the one of the best things going right now. And you know what?
It
It
is.
took
It's
them
a
a
good
while to
time.
get there. It
Yeah.
took them an absolute minute to
What
get
a
there. But when they
turnaround.
got there,
Yeah.
oh man, and they're finally letting fur cook. And we talked about it last week, seeing what they're doing, they're finally allowing it. I love it. I love what I'm seeing. I'm
Absolutely.
having a good time. And that's the point.
A good time. As we love it. We love it here. Are we gonna talk about
Wyndham Rotunda, what you do?
Yeah, let's talk about
Let's talk about Wyndham.
let's talk
Because he
about
had a
Wyndham,
fantastic
Mr.
promo.
Rotunda. That was
Right?
really dope. It was
That was
really
dope.
dope.
Yeah.
I love that
I
they went for
please.
sorry, I'm sorry. I love
No,
that they
please.
went for the something different that they went for was let's give them Wyndham Rotunda. Like
Yeah.
that was fly. And then to still bring it back at the end to the buzzard foolishness,
They
I
roped
love
you
that.
in. They
Yeah.
softened you up. They let you they allowed you to have your guard down for a moment.
Mhm.
Holy shit. I'm not
Great.
listening to Bray Wyatt. I'm not listening to the Fiend. I'm not listening to any of these individuals. I'm listening
Right.
to Wyndham Rotunda, the wizard himself.
We love saying his name.
I do. It's just it sounds like a guy. But watching Harry Potter. It
You've been
feels
watching. I
like
was like,
when
you've been watching
somebody
Harry
it just works. It sounds like a spell. Wyndham Rotunda. Like he's getting it.
That's very
He's
fair.
fantastic.
I think it's
Yeah,
fly. Do
please.
you think that the whole Wyndham Six? Do you think it's going to be other wrestlers as those characters, as like the characters, or do you think we're going to be talking to 6 different personalities of him? What do you think? What do you think is
I,
happening here?
I personally think that Bray has always been better when he's been with people. He always is better with a crew. He's the not,
Mm,
and maybe him being, with this regime, it might be different, and they'll just
mm,
let him cook. But he seems to have always, from what I've seen, and again, I'm not even going to pretend to be the biggest, Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda fan out there. I'm not going to. But what I have seen is that when he is surrounded by other strong individuals, he comes off as a monster and a
yeah,
badass. And
yeah.
and I think that if they put the right people around him, which again in Trips we trust, I feel as if he's putting the right people. He's going to put those right people around him. And you're starting to see, and I'm hearing maybe Liv, and we're starting to see some of the
Some
high
life,
flying and the little bit that she's been. Yeah, like it seems like
some life.
she went to sleep and woke up as Matt Hardy or something. Like it's crazy. Like like
Like, yes, look at what in the Hardy Girls is happening over here.
you know
I love
so
it.
it's I'm interested. You like I said, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, definitely.
You've piqued my curiosity.
I agree. I agree
I'll
completely.
say that.
So I have thoughts. Can we switch? Are we ready to switch gears?
Oh yeah, whatever you'd like to speak of. Yes, please.
So on I didn't catch all of AEW Dynamite tonight, but I caught some couple of newsworthy things. I
Okay,
did.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Yes, what's up?
So the FTR
Yes,
and the
love it.
they have 2 different tag titles right now: the Ring of Honor tag
Top
titles,
guys, love top
and
guys.
I'm the AAA tag titles. I think they have the. I
I
think they
believe
have both.
so.
I think those are the two that they have.
Hmm.
And Swerve and Our Glory, they are
Yeah.
going to fight next week on Rampage. Excuse me, on Dynamite for the number one contendership for the AEW tag titles. Hey, Serge,
You.
who you get? Who you got?
I'll be honest with you. FTR definitely wins. It's not even a
Yeah,
question. Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's a perfect opportunity for them to go out there and further put a divide with Swerve and Keith Lee. It's right there. They already said Swerve Keith over here saying little silly things like I think you're swerving in the wrong direction or whatever the hell he said.
that was a very
Like
good Keith Lee impression. Thank you.
yeah,
Oh,
like
check you out. He's a thespian, ladies and gentlemen, a thespian.
uh, but he that's the I mean they've leaned into it already. They've lost. I mean Swerve is having he wants. It's easy for him to go full heel, and it's easy for Keith Lee to be a full face. And
Yeah,
and they're both absolutely amazing singles competitors. So if this is the time, like personally, I wanted them to stay together longer because I want if they had the belts. They don't have the
yeah,
belts anymore. It doesn't make sense.
I
This is
don't.
another great opportunity for. I mean, come on. What bad can you say about the top guys? They're amazing. Dax
Literally
is
nothing.
still one of the wrestlers,
F-
if not top 3 wrestlers of the year. Come on.
yeah, yeah. FTR is everything. Like there, I have
I,
zero. There's like no notes for FTR. Like it just yes,
they're done.
love
Like
them.
I said, the only reason I wouldn't get FTR gear is because I refuse to buy wrestling gear of a face of a white dude. I just can't have that on me. But aside from that, I absolutely would. I absolutely would. They're the and Ferg. For actually, that's not true because I'm 2 seconds
He
from
is
getting
definitely
that
purchasing a
Ferg.
Ferg shirt
That the black joint with the purple X.
with the
But here's the
purple X.
problem.
Yeah,
Here's the problem. I have 46 black
black
t-shirts.
t-shirts. Sound like me in black sweatshirts right now. I'm like, okay, seriously, Dre, I need
I,
a. Can we get a
I
maroon and
look
a
at my
gray?
I got like 3 white
Maybe
shirts,
a
a
gray.
green one, like a couple grays, and then it was like a whole row of black. I'm just like, I can't keep just getting black shirts.
But it's got a purple X on it, so you're fine. I am
Good
not the
point.
one. I'm gonna always say yes. I'm not the one to tell you not to buy the wrestling shirt. I'm gonna always tell you to buy the wrestling shirt. It's terrible.
But FTR definitely take the W on that one. Absolutely.
I agree. Now, do they beat the Acclaimed for the titles though?
Probably not. Well, you know what? I'll play like this. I'm gonna say this. It absolutely depends on. It depends on the crowd. I really think I want to see who the crowd is going for because I think Tony likes to give the crowd what they want. So if we running around still, scissoring each other and doing all this other shit, like, look, everybody loves the Acclaimed. I get it.
Everybody loves the Acclaimed.
Everybody loves the Acclaimed, but everybody loves the top guys. And yes, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna let you finish your
Yeah.
thought about them, and then I have a thought as well.
I think they're great. I will say, well, you know what? I think I'm about to go where you're about to go, so I'm gonna let you go. And if you don't, I can go ahead and run with it. So please, what were you about to say?
I am curious about a few people that should be returning soon. And a certain elite tag team, if you will.
Yeah, Adam Cole, baby. Yeah.
I wasn't even talking about them, but I
Oh.
wouldn't even. I was not talking about him.
Oh, are you talking about
I'm
Super Kick Party?
I'm talking about them fighting boys. Talking about them gangsters. I can't even say it right.
Those thugs.
Those thuggish, ruggish bone.
Thugs.
That is the elite.
The elite going out there brawling in the back. The
Matt
real
Nick,
brawling
if
brutes.
you will, right? We
The
are
brawling
terrible.
brutes of
Yes.
AEW.
Them.
Yes.
I don't, I have a sneaky again, I'm still, the news about possible legal matters and things because of the fallout of all of that aside. Let's just pretend that's over there.
Over there.
That's over there. But if I had the little pencil, I think it would be very interesting if during the number one contender during the number one contenders match, that is when the elite show back up. And I think they disrupt that number one contendership match because why not give shenanigans? It's wrestling, duh. Give me some shenanigans. They disrupt that. And I think you read the crowd there. You figure out if they're heels or their faces at that moment. And then you decide, and then we get a triple threat tag match for the number one contendership. And then you decide who's going to beat the Acclaimed.
If the top guys go out there and turn heel, I will absolutely get a shirt. I am not even a question.
Their shirt has like a rainbow or something on it. It doesn't have their faces on it, does it?
It is. Their faces
like
are the stars. It's in the stars. It's so sick.
That's right. That is.
It
is cute, sick. And it's like real 80s looking. It's cute.
It's super 80s. It's dope.
Yeah, I love that.
Every time I gotta put it on, I'd be like,
right.
Right. It's sick.
It is cool.
Oh, they're dope.
So I think I mean, it's chaos and it's shenanigans all day.
I love it.
But like, I think that would be really interesting because I think you got to tread real. You had a point there when you said Tony Khan likes to kind of read the crowd or
he does
fan service, etc. And I think that this would be one of those cases where you absolutely have to, because if you push them a certain way and the crowd is doing the other thing, it's gonna be a Cody Rhodes situation again. And you don't, and like that's the last thing you want.
You don't recover. Next thing you know, you wake up and they coming out at the next WrestleMania.
That part, and we've talked about this.
Oh my God! If you think Trips, if he didn't have the opportunity to grab the top guys right now, it is they are Trips guys. If you have ever seen Trip guys or the elite
or Kenny Omega, let's be clear. The Bucks have had the opportunity to be WWE has offered the Bucks contracts in the past before AEW existed. Kenny Omega was in their training, was in OVW for a smidge. So these people aren't, they're not strangers to options, is my point. Now, it would be a shame, I would say, if that occurred, especially if that is the blowback from, if that's the consequences of what happened at All Out. I think that would be a shame. I would also be sitting on the timeline with my popcorn and my wine because the timeline would go crazy. But
absolutely.
It would be actually on fire, I think. But I just think that would be a shame. We said this, weeks ago when this occurred. It would be a shame if these grown-ass men couldn't get in the same room and figure it the hell out.
It would be terrible. They're children.
Stop being children.
Yeah, seriously.
And the Bucks got kids of their own. Stop acting like your babies. Quit. This is just dumb.
Absolutely.
It's dumb. And it's too much, we thought there's too much potential money on the table.
1000%.
If y'all don't get y'all grown asses in a room and figure it the hell out.
Yeah. Well, that'll be the only thing that come down for AEW. Aside from that, we joke, but they've been doing some really dope stuff. Watching what's happening, with, Swerve and Keith is interesting. I mean, what's happening again, the way that I feel like slow building and doing with our boy Ricky Stark right now. They have a lot of dope stuff. I mean, given our boy, not Taz, Taz's kid, Hook. Yo, Hook. He's being booked perfectly with Action Bronson and them doing everything. He's fun. It's fantastic. The ties that they still have in New Japan. Salute to New Japan that's going out there and actually doing the Forbidden Door type of stuff, retweeting stuff from the WWE. You know what I mean? Interacting with with Mercedes Vidal, whatever her last name is, aka Sasha Banks, online and doing everything else. Like they're having a lot of fun, and I think you're right. I think we might be seeing the next Forbidden Door of the WWE and New Japan. If that happened, I'm telling, like, that would be bananas. Like
It
that
would.
would be, yeah.
It would. I mean, I would love to see a world where we get a WWE AEW joint
Yeah,
situation, but I know
it would be fantastic.
that's years from happening. There's
For
too
sure.
much
For sure.
stuff. Hell,
But
we
they'll
just
be on the same network sooner than later. And if that does happen, it probably would be easier than I. It's like if boxers are on, the same, or promoted by the same promoter, it's easier to make that
yeah,
fight than if they're with different promoters. It's the same type of thing. It might be easier to make that work if they're all under the same umbrella.
yeah. But I think it would be fun. I also just because I have to mention our TBS champion Jade Cargill because she's just that woman is
Fantastic.
amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
she's fantastic.
that storyline with her and Nyla Rose stealing her title and just calling herself
Hilarious. It's
it,
amazing.
one time for Nyla Rose. I love her. I love her. I love her. If y'all ain't following somebody on Twitter, y'all need to go follow Nyla Rose on Twitter. She's hilarious. And I love that she just took the belt and her and Anna Jay trying to have a match with Anna Jay for the title. Like, ma'am, you didn't even I love it. Rampage this week should be funny because Jay basically said that if she don't get her title, she's gonna hijack the whole show.
Yeah, look, it's the perfect amount of silliness. It's the
great.
perfect amount of goofy
Silly
wrestling.
wrestling for the win.
For the win, as always. But no, there's been some good stuff. I will have to check out the rest of Dynamite, but everything should be pretty fun. I mean, seeing Rey Mysterio down there, with on SmackDown, seeing all the NXT people back and forth and everything has been sick. Obviously, AEW on Friday is going to be dope as well, and they're actually doing that as a live show now and not afterwards, from what I understand.
I think it's switching up. It's basketball season. Happy basketball season, everybody. Yes. Sorry, it's my I love basketball season. But so of course, TBS TNT situation. So we're gonna get a couple of these where like Dynamite's on Tuesday instead of Wednesday, and Rampage is live instead of taped or whatever. So I think it's gonna just be as needed in that regard. But it should be fun. We did not discuss this, but it does not have to be a long one. JBL returned to WWE yesterday. And he's now. And he's now Baron Corbin's Paul Heyman, I guess. Baron Corbin got his name back one time for Baron.
Look, the one thing Tripp's going to do is give you your name back. You want your name back, you're going to get your name back.
Big E might get his last name back one day.
Oh, my goodness. You mean Big E Langston? My man. Oh, man.
Three ain't enough. He need 5. That was my...
I like it. Sorry. Nah, look, I like him being there. I think, even though I think Corbin is great by himself, giving him somebody else that can be equally as obnoxious, and JBL does a fantastic job of doing that. I mean, he's great. He's great. We know he's a good
being
dude,
a whole jerk. So, he does that very well.
Yeah, and he plays it great. He plays it great, and for him to go out there and the two of them are going to be a lot of fun together. It's going to be really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, we just need Baron to get some new music, and then I think that whole transformation will be perfect.
I think so too.
But
I absolutely
of course, agree. You go out when you re-debut, or if you're a new guy, you get a match with Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler gonna make you look amazing, and of course he did. So, I mean, Baron's always
gonna put you over.
And let's be clear, Baron Corbin is underrated in the ring in general. He's always been just really good in the ring, always. You know what I mean? So that's something, don't want to take that away from him at all. But so I was like, oh, that was interesting. I didn't expect that at all. When that happened yesterday. I was like,
honestly, I remember he jumped in the car with dude like a month ago and forgot about it.
Was it a month ago? I swear it was like 7,000 years ago, but you're right.
It was. But he jumped in I'm saying a month because I was trying to be like nice, but it did feel like 6 months ago, like a year or two ago. Like I remember he jumped in the car and I ain't seen dude forever. So
he was bum ass Corbin, and then he jumped in the car and dipped.
He dipped, which he needed to. But I like it. He's getting his fit back. He's doing his thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I'm really looking forward to seeing what's happening there. But there's a lot of good stuff, and this is what we love talking about it. So much good pro wrestling right now. One thing before we take off, I wanted to give a shout out to AAA, the dope organization down in Mexico.
Yes.
Legendary organization down there, had a huge event this past weekend, and Penta put, oh my god, like if you see the pictures are gnarly as hell, but
Crazy.
crazy. But and if you see the highlights of it, they're even crazier. Yo, those guys in AAA, I mean, put on the most ridiculous shows. So salute to all of them. There are so many legends in that show, and Penta showed that he is definitely at that caliber. So salute to him. Salute to all of Latino Heat doing their
Let's
thing down
go.
there. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
I love it. Yes. And also just the Lucha Bros in general. And
Lucha Bros. Salute.
underrated. I know it doesn't make any
Um,
sense because they've been champs at AEW before and all over the world. I still feel like they're underrated. Like
I
every
mean, if
time the
it
Lucha Bros
truly,
aren't,
if it wasn't for the bloodline, like really, as a tag team, it'll be them.
yeah,
They're that good.
they
They're
are they are
ridiculous.
they are them.
They
They
are
are
them.
them.
They are them. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Yo, guys, with that being said, that's about all pro wrestling we got for this week. It's been fantastic. As Miss Drayden, before we get out of here, anything else you want to say or talk about?
No, not at all.
No, we
We
good.
did that was it. It was an uneventful wrestling week until about 5 seconds before we went on the air.
Nah.
You know
Yo,
what I'm saying?
seriously.
But
Seriously.
again, like we always say, the world of pro wrestling is always moving, it's always nuts. Prayers up to Hangman Page, healing, hoping that, it's not too serious and that he heals
Absolutely.
up and all that good jamming. But we got more, we got all kinds of more wrestling to happen. SmackDown, Rampage still to come
Everything.
this
So
week.
much. So much. And then NXT Raw once again. All right,
NXT
guys.
was
But
on today. Crazy.
you know it. But I was talking about NXT Raw on Monday. But with that being said, as always, we appreciate you guys. Make sure you check us out each and every week here on the fastest growing YouTube channel in all of combat sports. We are talking about the scrap news. This is Sergi Sente repping the Fight Pod. Miss Drayden, my co-host with the most. I
That's
appreciate
me.
y'all. And as always, before we get out of here, we're gonna leave you from some couple words of knowledge, a little bit of motivation, a little bit of what they say, that little bit of if you're having a tough week, it might help you get over the hump, since tomorrow is Wednesday hump day.
Yes.
None other than the visionary, the illuminary, the man, Fat Joe.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.